Welcome to Minute with the Guest with Cast and Crank podcast. Today we have Mike Stembridge.
Thanks for having me.
From Pearl Swimbaits. So thing we're doing now is a minute with the guest, a minute on Instagram, and you'll get a longer video on YouTube. Check out Mike's episode 59 on the iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. Mike, what's the first thing you like to do when you're making a bait?
I like to heat up the mold. I take old plastic, put it in the microwave and heat it up and pour it into all the cavities and get that mold pretty hot.
Okay, how long do you think it really takes to heat up the mold properly?
I do 1 or 2 rounds of that, depending upon the size of the lure.
Okay.
Bigger ones require a little bit more, but I like to have it hot. It lets the plastic flow. It allows it to slide off the sides and give it a nice little even flow of the plastic. When it's cold, it cracks. It doesn't want to flow easy, and your first couple rounds turn out being kind of bootleg anyway. So
yeah,
I might as well take the old broken plastic, heat it up while I'm putting together my pour list for the day.
Yeah, and you had your molds for a while, right?
I've had my mold since I've never replaced a mold. I've never had a breakdown of a mold. There's never been a malfunction. And really, all we did was follow Smooth On's mold making tips. All right, follow the directions and. We did take extra special care with the plugs to make sure that the actual plug that you mold, it's been laid down. The actual plug was laid down and it was cleaned with a toothbrush meticulously multiple times and sprayed with mold release so that it comes out cleanly. And I mean, it was so well taken care of that basically when you pour the plastic, the RTV over the mold, it preserves it.
Do you think that is a big step in making the mold, is making sure that your plug is completely smooth, no defects? And what are you making your plug out of?
We started with wood.
Wood, okay.
Yeah, we started with wood. From wood, we went to resin, and then from resin, you just add the Bondo to it and clean everything up and paint and stickers, and you're good to go. But the paint and stickers have to be done right, and you got to clear coat it right, and it's got to stay the same size that you wanted it. And if you take, like I said, if you take good care of that plug, you're going to get an exact replica of what you decide to mold. That's what a mold is. So the more imperfections you have, those are going to show in your bait. So
yeah.
My father takes very good care of the plugs, and so much pride in that when it lays out that the molds have been basically cured.
Okay.
When they come out, they're cured and they're perfect.
Great. So the next step you're going to be doing is pouring your colors, right?
Pour my colors.
So how long are you heating up your plastisol in the microwave for?
Depending upon the type of plastisol you use. I use Lure Craft, but that plastisol is pretty hardy, and depending upon the volume, smaller time, nothing over 3 minutes. Actually 3 minutes and 33 seconds because I just hit the same button repeatedly so that I don't have that issue of trying to search around with a glove on. So it's 333, 222, 111. Those tend to be my normal times, and then 33 for 30 seconds. So that tends to be my numbers. But again, I know when to pull the door open and stop it too. So I can punch a little bit more time in there and pull it open too. So I like to heat it up and get everything heated up before I start pouring.
And when we walked around the shop, you had really cool beakers and stir sticks. Can you talk about those?
All glass materials, thin walls on the beakers. I don't like the big thick walls. The material cools too quick. It beads up on the pour spout, and it becomes difficult to get into, especially for the small baits. So I like to use smaller beakers for smaller baits that hold the right volume. It stays hot, and I can get through the entire run in one shot. So that helps preserve the glitter, the color, and the integrity of those pieces together. They don't get worn out and look old before you even fish them.
Same thing with the stir sticks, right? With the glass.
Yeah.
Just to keep the heat inside,
It keeps the heat inside. It keeps the material off of it because the stir stick gets heated up and it wants to stay off of it anyway. And then so it doesn't get in the way. It's lightweight. And again, it doesn't get any material inside your plastic. So you're not getting wood shavings inside your plastic and things like that. You don't make a mistake of forget. Leave the kitchen knife in there and put it in the microwave as you're working with 3 microwaves at the same time.
Blow it up.
Yeah, blowing stuff up. Those mistakes don't happen when everything's glass.
Yeah. So when you're doing colors, when do you start adding the color into the plastisol?
Other than a fluorescent color, everything goes in after it's heated up. And color goes in right away because it can handle the heat, but you wait for the glitter till it cools off a little bit so that you don't burn or melt or shrivel the glitter, especially the big glitter. The little glitter doesn't want to shrivel, but it will leach its color.
Okay.
Red especially. Red and purple like to really leach their color out. Yeah.
And when you pour the baits, the first layer, does that include the tail?
That includes the tail, and I like to pour over the tail. I like to fill up the tail and have it leak out. A lot of people don't want to trim the bait, but listen, you pour up over the tail, that creates an edge around the entire tail. The next two colors that go in, they're sealed. They're protected inside that original color. Your bait's not going to separate. It's not going to peel. Even if you have it around for 2-3 years, you leave it in a box with other things, it's going to hold its integrity.
Yeah. Yeah. And how long are you waiting in between layers?
I like mine works itself out that through the pour, once I finish the run, I can pretty much heat up the next color and get it back to where I need to pour from and go. But there's no set time, but I like a firm line. So I make sure that the plastic is kind of set, and all I do is blow on it. If I can blow a hump into the plastic in the middle of the bait, then it's not ready to go yet.
Yeah. Good call. No temperature. You're not taking a thermometer or nothing.
I used to have the trigger one where you'd have everything, because my dad was everything by the number and want to write it down and have a chart, and I'm everything by like pull it out of the sky and just roll with it, like a dash of this, a pinch of that, and this little here we go, let rock it. He wanted to know time by time, so he's got it on there, and all that did was freak me out, because that's 430 degrees. That's gonna hurt. It did. That hurts. I didn't really want to know that,
I hear you. I've had it happen.
So yeah, no, I don't use the temperature. I use the feel. Actually, the glass stir rod, when you lift it out and it just falls off,
it's ready.
It's ready to go.
Nice. Well, thanks for letting us do an episode on Pearl Swimbaits again, Mike. Check out Mike, episode 59, YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes. Go check out Pearl Swimbaits at Performance Tackle. Support him. And thanks again for coming on, bro.
Thanks for having me, dude. Guys, get out there and make your own stuff, man.
There you go. Later.